Today we're going to be looking at the most profitable coins to mine right now and a little bit of what the future looks like for them, as well as the best miners to mine them with. Mining has quickly become a billion-dollar industry. And if you're watching this video, I can assure you, you are still early. My name is Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel where we cover all kinds of crazy crypto stuff, including my mining journey as I march towards building a 1 megawatt mining farm. It's been pretty crazy, but let's go ahead and just, jump right into it. Although you would think the first coin we're going to talk about today is Bitcoin mining because it puts out $50 million in new coins per day, we're going to put that one later in the video because we've talked so much about Bitcoin mining previously, and it's the thing that most people are familiar with. Let's talk about the latest, greatest, the hottest craze. It's Kaspa mining. $2 million of new coins mined per day, and the competition is not that fierce. It's really not. These miners are so profitable, they're so lucrative. Depending on which model you get, the kind of standard issue models here, like the Ice River KS3M, which has recently been selling around $7,000, depending on when and where you bought it, is mining $70 per day, right? Like plus 70 per day in passive income. I mean, you break that out, extrapolate it to annually, it's impressive, it's crazy. But there's some very unique nuances with Kaspa mining that you need to know about. We're going to talk about those. The coolest part about Kaspa mining is how accessible it is now that ASICs have hit the scene. So you can buy a plug-and-play Kaspa mining device that earns much more than it burns in electricity. Plug it in anywhere in your house, right? It's the Ice River KS0 Pro. This is their latest mini miner. These things are earning several bucks a day right now. They cost $5 to $10 a month to run, probably, in electricity. So again, very profitable, very easy to use, they've been very reliable, they're very good devices in our experience. Gold Shell's also got their little Kaspa box miner, so something to be aware of. But the KS0 Pros have been great and have overclocking capabilities. If you want to push it even further, you just want to make sure that you're ready when you receive one of these and you have the right power cable. It's got this little 3-prong cable that goes into the associated power supply if you order it with the power supply, which most people do. And depending where you order it, you'll most likely get a power supply with it. So just make sure you've got a power cable that's going to plug into whatever you want when it hits your destination, so you don't have downtime and you're sitting there waiting for like, come on, Jeff Bezos, where the hell is my power cable? Because you can jump on Amazon and try to get one real quick. They're easy to source, say on Amazon, other sites, and even, some local stores, or maybe you could just yoink it right out of your printer. You can order directly from Ice River. We've been able to secure the best coupon code they offer. It's code VoskCoin. Punch it in if you want to order a Ice River, anything from them, especially the KS0 Pro. They normally, at least on their site, list the best prices. Their miners quickly go in and out of stock. It is, to be frank, hard to get miners directly from them in the current landscape as Kaspa continues to rip and tear and upwards in price point. So most of our Kaspa miners we've actually gotten from ASIC Marketplace. They've been great to work with. They get us our miners quick. And that's another situation where we have the best coupon code available, code VoskCoin, which works on every miner except for the KS0 Pro, because basically they don't have enough margin for the big VoskCoin code discount. So we have a specific code for the KS0 now, which is simply Vosk KS0. And I know this may seem like, oh, he's pushing stuff on us, sales, whatever. Dude, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you buy. I just want you to save money if you buy anything, because if you don't use a code, then you're gonna pay more. And we got the best codes in the game. So why not support your boy while you're at it? I mean, geez. Come on. But getting back to the serious points here, right? Depending on the miner models, we can talk about the KS1, the KS2, which is basically 5 KS0 Pros or 10 KS0 Pros. There's the KS3M, which is the most popular Kaspa miner. Dollar for dollar, gives you the most hash rate, right? Which is mining power. These are all ASIC miners, application-specific integrated circuit miners. They're purpose-built machines. They do one thing. They mine a specific mining algorithm, where basically, from a layman's point of view, they mine one coin. A Bitcoin miner doesn't mine Kaspa. A Kaspa miner doesn't mine Bitcoin. But basically, the best miner, dollar for dollar, continues to be the Ice River KS3M. You're getting the most hash rate, the most bang or hash for your buck. The best miner, though, would arguably be still the Bitmain Antminer KS3. So my KS3M, you know, based on its performance of hash rate and power consumption, is earning over $70 a day right now. That's crazy. And it's been earning that much, you know, historically for quite a while, and in many times mining even more coins than we're mining right now. The Antminer KS3 9 terahash second version is basically 50% more efficient. It's more powerful, it gives you more density, but Bitmain slapped a big premium on it. So I really like it because there's overlap with the control boards I have on hand. There's overlap with the power supplies. I'm familiar with it. I like the dashboard. It's been a great performer. It's been awesome. But again, it carries a huge premium, so most people are not going for it. But the latest Kaspa miners that enter the game is the new Gold Shell Kaspa miner, as well as the IB Link Kaspa miner. And on paper, these are very good miners, but they don't have a proven track record of performance. And the initial verdict and rumors is that the IB Link KS Max is not performing that well. I can't speak on it yet personally. I'm trying to get one in to review here on the channel. So basically, if you want a small Kaspa miner to plug in anywhere, the KS0 Pro and the Gold Shell box miner. If you want a big boy miner, right, you're looking at the KS3M, the Antminer KS3, and then also the new offerings from Gold Shell as well as IB Link. I've been talking a lot about Kaspa recently here on the channel though, so let's move on to the next thing. But before we do that, I want to bring up a note, right? I've linked out an ASIC miner tutorial video guide in the video description below, as well as a smaller, basically electrical focused video guide in the video description below. These videos will get you up to speed. They've got everything you could possibly want or need to know in this to start a mining endeavor safely and profitably. Because what do we say here? You know, learn more, earn more. That's the name of the game. And if you don't try new stuff, well, then you're going to be stuck doing the same thing, whatever you're doing. And if you're fine with that, that's fine. That's great. And now the plot thickens even further with this new Bitmain Antminer KS5, boasting an even higher hash rate, higher density, higher efficiency, coming in at a price point over $30,000 per machine. Rumor is there's not going to be many of these made, especially to begin, so rapidly developing. We'll see how this all unfolds. A key thing you should know about Kaspa mining though is the fact that it effectively halves annually and it decreases in emissions by about an 8% step every month. So if you're mining 100 Kaspa coins today, in 1 year you'll be mining around 50 Kaspa coins, just an example. But this does weigh heavily into mining profitability projections and returns, and it's something many noobs don't know about, or don't take the time to look up or research, or they're lame and don't watch VoskCoin, and I try to bring you the most important info always here. I know. Good job, me. Thanks, me. Oh, jeez. But that's enough. The next coin, Dogecoin. Dogecoin is the third most profitable coin to mine. Still, previously second, but Kaspa has taken the silver position. Dogecoin is merge mined with Litecoin, and even when you combine them, Kasla's still above them now. The thing with Dogecoin, right, is it's the script mining algorithm. Normally you're mining Doge, you're getting paid out Doge as well as Litecoin at the same time, for better and worse. It used to be, it's funny, it's ironic in a way. It used to be Litecoin mining and you got these funny Doge meme coins along the way. You didn't really care that much about them. Then Dogecoin cemented itself as just an absolute powerhouse, and Litecoin has kind of faded a bit into irrelevancy. So it's now Dogecoin mining and you get Litecoin along the way. Ironically, the best Dogecoin Litecoin miner is still the Bitmain Antminer L7. This thing is a couple years old. It has not had true competition from any of their competitors, and it's cemented itself in a league of its own. I'm worried about, personally getting more of these because it's been out so long and it's just kind of time. It's kind of due for a new model of refresh. And based on the length of time, the new silicon that Bitmain has access to, we all kind of think that they're going to release they're probably going to call it the Antminer L9. And it's going to be twice as good as the L7. But the L7s are very profitable miners. I mean, depending on what you're mining and where you're mining, they've been making, somewhere between, 10, 20 bucks a day for quite a long time. And, that's in Doge Litecoin, or you can use it on a mining pool that automatically converts so you get paid out in Bitcoin, among other things. Dogecoin mining was made very accessible due to Goldshell and their mini Doge miner series. We collaborated with them in the previous bull run and released the VoskCoin mini Doge, which was really cool, and that was a fun experience. I bring that up mainly though to just give you full disclosure, you know, I'm mentioning them. I don't have an affiliate relationship with Goldshell. They actually, we used to have an affiliate account, and then they decided they didn't want to pay us and rugged us on that. But you know, whatever, not really the point of this video. I speak about everything in full transparency here as always, right? They continue to make Dogecoin mining very accessible with their latest generation of mini Doge miners, the mini Doge 3. The mini Doge 3 is a small, quiet, little mini hobby style miner. You can plug it anywhere in your house. Some of them have had Wi-Fi support, but don't, you know, bank on that. It's pretty easy to get Ethernet anywhere in your house. So if you want to use a power line adapter, or you want to just use, you know, a mesh network, like I have multiple Eero devices throughout my house. We also built our house over the last few years. So I just also ran Ethernet throughout the house, which, you know, how could I, you know, be addicted to mining and not put Ethernet throughout my house? I actually regret not putting more Ethernet throughout my house. But alas, it's always a learning process. The L7 is king for big boy mining, and the mini Doge 3 is, you know, fun, easy, accessible Dogecoin mining. And it is a, you know, cool thing to watch the Dogecoin, Litecoin just casually, you know, hit your wallet, whether you're using something like, you know, cold storage or an Exodus, you know, hot wallet, or maybe you just mine directly to your exchange account and, you know, bang, go straight to Coinbase. We talked about the pros and cons of all those things before, so we won't talk about them today. Dogecoin and Litecoin mining equate to about, you know, 1.5 million of new coins mined per day. Litecoin recently went through its halving, so there's not going to be a major change in the issuance of coins between Dogecoin and Litecoin for about the next 4 years, which makes the future mining profitability projections pretty easy to kind of think about and plan for. The next most profitable coin to mine is going to be Ethereum Classic, right? Ethereum Classic is actually the original Ethereum chain. Without going into all the history and the drama, it's still mineable. They have a modified Ethereum mining algorithm at this point called ETC hash, and it's putting out about $400,000 of newly mined coins per day. Ethereum Classic does have an issuance reduction, but it's not quite severe as, like, say, the Bitcoin halving. So that's just something to understand and be aware of. Jazzminer recently released the X16P. We got this into review. This thing has nothing short of impressive. It's big, it works well, it's very profitable. I mean, it has very high earnings per day. We're talking towards like 20 bucks a day, right? And it's not that expensive, consuming only about 2,000 watts. It's a pretty energy efficient miner, which cost me around $5 a day to run. And that's like, again, you know, my 10 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate as we march towards reducing that cost by 20 to 30% over the next year or so. And that's before we even get to my end game master plan of deploying solar and generating our own electricity. But I'm a maniac, that's what I do. So the X16P is the latest and greatest and really big, impressive, profitable, dense miner. But if you're looking at bang for buck, it's still probably going to be the Bitmain Antminer E9 Pro. This thing is a behemoth. It's even bigger than the X16P. It's unsightly. I mean, it's huge. If you've ever dealt with other Antminer ASICs, you know, you think they all look the same, but not this one. It's like almost double the size, but it looks the same. It's weird, right? And that's due to what they need to do to mine the Ethereum Classic algorithm. Essentially, they jam a bunch of GPUs into it. That's kind of the quick way to explain it. But that miner is profitable. It earns more than it burns. And you'll see the best miners for this, again, are like, you know, industrialized or big boy miners. iPollo does make some smaller Ethereum Classic miners. But, you know, unless you're like really bullish on that coin, I don't really see them being worth it to any degree. Interesting endeavor nonetheless, and I do want to be thankful and encourage more mining companies to release, you know, mini versions of their miners, but they also need to be like latest generation tech or close enough to where they're efficient, right? So if you buy a device and it basically never earns more than it burns, right? You might as well just buy the coin because there are many profitable miners to buy. Personally, I've got a good chunk of Ethereum Classic mining going on. If you are interested in this and you want a miner that's kind of like the best of both worlds, The Jazz Miner X16Q is a very good niche miner where the Q literally stands for quiet. So it truly is a very quiet miner. I mean, you could put it anywhere in your house, it wouldn't bother you. It's very efficient. It's got latest gen, chip technology and efficiency in it, but it carries a price premium. And that's kind of the problem with the Jazz miners in particular. They're very efficient, they're very profitable, but they're very expensive, right? And then Bitmain will show up with a worse design in this case, but it's much cheaper to the point where, depending on your electricity, it may make more sense to just get the E9 Pro. There's a lot of mining profitability to be had on the random X mining algorithm. But if you have a Antminer X5, which mines random X, or specifically Monero, you will still be very frustrated by the fact that Bitmain has not either developed the capabilities or opened it up to the public, because there's always behind closed doors things going on with these ASIC miner manufacturers, there's only like around $50,000 of new Monero mine per day. Privacy coins have not been having a good time, including some, big exchange delistings over the last several months. But, Zephyr or Zephyr, however you don't want to say it, Zephyr, right? You're so fancy, man. It's put out $200,000 of new coins mined per day. It's a lot. And CPU miners are having a very good time with that. And if they've been stacking those coins, it's been ended up being a very lucrative endeavor for them. And that opens up the whole, category of speculative mining, which will just have to be a follow-up video at this point before I talk, for hours and hours and hours. But that's just something I wanted to touch on and make you aware of. The next coin that I want to talk about is going to be Chia XCH mining. This is hard drive mining. It's a bit different than most of the ASIC mining we've talked about. Mining in this era is dominated by ASIC mining. Chia is hard drive mineable. You can DIY your own Chia mining rigs. There's something newer called compression, where basically you compress it and you get a lot more mining performance out of it. And there are a couple plug and play options. In particular, Evergreen Miner is a plug and play Chia mining option. You go over there, you buy a Chia miner, you plug it in, and it's gonna earn a lot more than it burns. But hard drives are expensive, and a pre-made device carries a premium as well. And there's the Chia halving coming very soon, which will, reduce the amount of coins mined per day in half, which, cuts that dollar amount in half if nothing else changes. I'm personally really hopeful for Chia in the long term. I built out a whole hard drive mining shed. We've got a bunch of miners in there. And we're mining with over 200 hard drives here on our mining farm. I thought it was an interesting project, a fun way to diversify. And I have a mini split in there that cools it constantly. And, at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, including the random ridiculous fees your electric company tax onto your meter, that whole operation cost me $100 a month to run. So I clear my electric in just a couple of days, and then it's all profit. I'm stacking all these coins. Obviously, I have my associated hardware cost, but the bottom line is, these are miners you could plug in anywhere, right? 120 volt, 240 volt. Just make sure you got the right power supply and it's on the right setting, and it's gonna earn so much more than it burns. This makes mining very accessible. It's the best thing about Chia is their mining algorithm and the green aspect, and the point that they have a lower energy footprint for their hard drive mining and the way it was all designed and all that. But the key takeaway is you're in California, you're in Germany, electricity is so expensive. Well, this is something you can participate in profitably. But again, carries a premium. And that premium brings you back to ask the question, well, if this is all so great and whatever, should I just buy the coin? That's for you to decide. Sometimes it's the right choice, sometimes it's not. In this equation, honestly, maybe. But I will say that if Chia, just surges in price and can maintain a higher market cap, getting hard drives is going to become so expensive. It's going to become difficult. You're going to have to definitely be DIYing the rigs at that point, because pre-built hard drive mining rig makers like Evergreen, as well as Juicy, which I'll link out below, and we've got coupon codes for them as well to save you some coin. It's code VoskCoin. They'll be so backed up on orders. These guys have gotten backed up at times in a bear market, and that's no insult to them. That's how popular these are. And also, it's a lengthy process. Plotting a hard drive, making it able to, hard drive mine, you need the right hardware. And depending on your hardware, it can, take literally days to modify the hard drive, via the software to make it hard drive mineable. But, if you go and poke your head into the Chia Discord server, which is like the VoskCoin Discord server, but not as cool, Same with every other Discord server, because I believe, like the original crypto mining Discord server, if you didn't know that. The point here is that it's called farming, okay? It's Chia farming, it's XCH farming. And if you say mining, some random nerds get offended. I'm a nerd too, but sometimes you can't be that nerdy. Just relax. It ain't that big of a deal. You could call it Bitcoin farming. I wouldn't get upset about it. It's not untrue. Now let's speed run a couple more coins, because this video is getting pretty long and the mining profitability isn't all that much on these coins, but they are still worth mentioning. These coins are putting out about $50,000 to $100,000 in new coins mined per day. So we're gonna look at Dash X11 mining algorithm. The Antminer D9 is the best miner for mining Dash. It's profitable, it earns more than it burns. The emission of Dash linearly scales down as it moves forward. It's a profitable mining endeavor, but what is the future for Dash? Where is it going? Is it an old coin that survives just with the Lindy effect, or is there actually a brighter future for it? Now let's talk about Kadena, KDA. Best miner for that is still the Bitmain Antminer KA3. IB-Link recently released their newest Kadena miner, but it continues to be worse than the Antminer KA3. There's also overclocks that are coming out and floating around that could really enhance your mining hash rate and density, but it's not really going to increase your efficiency all that much. Something to understand and be aware of. But the most interesting thing I think is kind of funny is that Kadena has rebranded to basically look like Kaspa between their logo and their color. And it's an interesting move, and I'm excited to see where that goes, because Kadena is basically supposed to be very fast, scalable, mineable platform, cryptocurrency, blockchain, right? And then you have Kaspa, which in essence is essentially the same thing, but the new kid on the block, and boasts that they have better technology and has commanded a very serious market cap very quickly. Next, let's talk about Nervos Network, which has finally ascended in price some. I've been waiting a very long time for this. The best miner for the Nervos Network Eagle Song mining algorithm, the CKB coin or CK bytes, is going to be the Bitmain Antminer K7. I have been furious at my K7s for many months, but I will say the latest firmware that's come out, make sure you update your firmware if you buy these, has made a big difference. These miners were kind of treading water for me at my electric rate before the price increase, but now they're once again profitable. And all the coins that I've mined and held retroactively, I'm now into the green, if not into the green much further, which is a very cool feeling, playing the long game with mining. The K7, it's been out for over a year now. I don't really think we're gonna see a new model of it too soon. So Nervos Network, I think, really is one to watch if they can kind of keep this momentum going. It's a cryptocurrency that has done well in previous bull runs. It has a high amount of coins, and people like having a bunch of coins, and they think no matter whatever the market cap is, that all these coins maybe one day can go to $1. They have their moon bags and all that stuff. But that's one in particular I'm kind of excited about, something to watch. And the final little category of miners I want to touch on in today's video is going to be Siacoin as well as Handshake. These mining algorithms are so similar that many of these miners can mine the other coin. Something to understand and be aware of. Handshake HNS coin hasn't been doing all that well, but it's not completely dead yet. Siacoin has actually, and then the Sia cryptocurrency has been surprisingly going up in price point, reviving the mining profitability of many old miners. Gold Shell, with complete lack of regard for their actual customers, released a bunch of old hardware, old designs that they had right on the heels of this mining profitability surge, setting a lot of miners up for failure. And that's the problem, if you're not constantly researching this or subscribe to VoskCoin, best channel in the world. I know I'm biased. You may not know this stuff. It's a lot to keep up with. I do this 24/7. I'm working on the content creation side of the business for VoskCoin, or I'm working on the VoskCoin mining farm, and they're so entwined. There's a lot of overlap. I mean, if you're busy with a demanding 9 to 5, like good luck. Good luck keeping up with all this. I struggle to keep up with everything, and this is all I do. And we have a team. It's not just me anymore, and it's still overwhelming. But there's some mining profitability to be had there. And I personally think that we're going to see either a new miner or batch release from Bitmain to kind of just, eat up that little chunk of mining profitability. If you don't know, Bitmain used to be really just Bitcoin mining, and then they had Litecoin miners. All right, and then they expanded a little bit from there. But over the last year especially, they've shown up in just absolute, show of force, saying like, we make the best miners. We make the most efficient miners. And they've released very efficient, very powerful, very profitable ASIC mining rigs for many different mining algorithms. We've talked so much about Bitcoin mining, so I'm gonna run through Bitcoin mining kind of quickly. So Bitcoin is putting out about $50 million of new coins per day. $50 million, that is absolutely wild. A $50 million daily industry that you can participate with anywhere, right? If you have electricity and you have internet, you're in, right? And it's not gate kept by, a degree, an application, not even language. I mean, nothing. So the best miners for mining Bitcoin on paper is the Bitmain Antminer S21. But personally, myself and many others have had a pretty bad experience with the S21. I've gotten 2 S21s in so far, and one of them broke within a week, a $5,000 mining rig, not even lasting about a week. Incredibly frustrating working through the repair process. Now, subscribe if you want to hear me complain about how that one's going. The best latest gen miner in my experience, and quickly becoming everyone else's experience as well, is the MicroBT What's miner M60S. So this is a direct competitor to the S21, right? These new gen miners have a hash rate of about 200 hash rate, terahash a second, and they're consuming around 3,400 watts. Understand, right, when it comes to mining, depending on which coin you go after and which miner, there are miners that cost, a couple $100 that earn more than they burn, so in my experience, they've been profitable, they've been lucrative endeavors. But you can also get bigger and bigger and bigger miners. You go after something like Bitcoin, right? The biggest, the OG cryptocurrency, very established. You're competing against quite literally publicly traded Bitcoin mining farms. So understand that these miners carry a premium for numerous reasons. So latest gen Bitcoin miners can be had right now for somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000, depending on the model and the ETA on receiving that miner is. These are miners mining, say 15, 16 bucks a Bitcoin, maybe going towards 20 as Bitcoin's been creeping up in price, daily mining profitability. Then you need to run the numbers on what it costs to run. So for example, these latest gen miners cost me around like $8 a day to run at about a 10 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate. So I clear more than double over my electrical expense. But the elephant in the room is the Bitcoin halving is looming, where the amount of Bitcoin mined per day will be cut in half. And that will take my latest gen miners from being pretty profitable and lucrative to basically breaking even. I think Bitcoin's got a very bright future, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's where the next best miner comes into question, the Bitmain Antminer S19K Pro. They've made a lot of these. These are kind of maybe seem like the last hurrah of the previous generation of S19 miners. These can be had for around $2,000 for single quantity orders. They're profitable. They are a rock solid generation. The S19 Bitmain Bitcoin miners are revered as, overall great miners. So that's kind of the gist on that. There's some smaller like hobby style miners like the BitAxe, and also the customized S19K Erlacher miner. You can check those out on Altair's site. Altair is a mining parts and miner reseller. It's been modified and downclocked to essentially run on any outlet in your house, on 120 voltage. So you don't need 240 voltage. And I'll kind of specify that as we go along, but 240 voltage, right? Watch our electrical guide, learn how to do this. It's easy, don't be intimidated. But the bottom line is most miners come with attached power supplies, and 240 voltage cuts your amperage use in half. It's just better for a lot of reasons. So miners are built around that. So you may need to add a circuit if you want to mine on a small scale in your home. If you're building, say, a mining shed or something like we've done, you'll obviously be pulling a sub panel in there. You'll be, doing 240 voltage. You can look around how we built our farm. It's 240 voltage everywhere, single phase, and we're working with our electric company to bring 3-phase here to scale our operation further in the future. Altair has been great to work with. They've supported the channel by giving us an affiliate link. So if you go and grab any of this stuff, please use our link, support the channel, but more importantly, support yourself by punching in the code VoskCoin to save some coin. And to give you a heads up, my favorite thing that he actually sells are his mining PDUs. These are great form factors. They're the cheapest mining PDUs or PDU you can use for mining. So they're quite literally like the best bang for buck. They're purpose built and they're just quality. They've got good data on them. It's just, check them out. Like if you're like, oh, I need a PDU, that's gonna be the one, truly. And obviously I'm gonna link out all the stuff I'm talking about down in the video description below. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, stick around. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talked about. Did we miss a coin that we should have brought up today? There are more coins than what we talked about today, obviously, thankfully, truly. And if you do want to buy a miner, please consider supporting us by punching in the code VoskCoin, right, to save yourself some coin. It also supports the channel. Use our links. If you find a better deal elsewhere, shoot me, tag me in the Discord or make a post on VoskCoin Talk or shoot me an email. I'd be happy, to try to help you find a better deal that may still be able to support the VoskCoin YouTube channel. We've got some great affiliates that work with us that, they're here to give you the best deal. And that's, we've had calls, we've had lengthy conversations about like, hey, like if we're going to work with you, right, content creation is a key piece of like what we're doing moving forward. And we don't need just sponsors, but we need great sponsors that will support our community, support our subscribers, and, truly help us cement that, like, and help us say like, yo, like we're the best, like we got this. We connect our subscribers, our viewers with the best deals. And customer service, which is oftentimes too overlooked when people want to save, like say $100 on a miner and then they don't get the right model or it takes forever to ship. Speed kills in many things. And it absolutely kills in the mining game. Getting that miner quickly is the #1 key to success that I've found personally in the mining game, right? Quick when it releases, ideally, or at least quickly after I order it, right? And make sure you're ready to deploy it the second you get it. So that's all I got. On that note, let me show you something way cooler than me. That's gonna be Tails. Hi, Tails. 10 seconds of Tails. We run it on every video. Tails, what do you have to say to the viewers? You thinking bark, 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 or bork, 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 or what about rough, rough, rough? Tails is our CMO. She's our chief mining officer, and she's a good girl. You bored?